Champions League draw, quarter-finals, round of 16, semi-final, whatever you want to say, has been finally revealed, has been released, has been set, and it's ready to go. We've got two brackets on the left and on the right. On my right, Barcelona side, which I care about the most, and on the left we've got the Real Madrid, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, the PSGs, the Aston Villas, Barcelona on the right, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Leverkusen, Inter, and you can already tell the difference between the two. We'll talk about it. We'll give our predictions. We're gonna say who's. I'm not gonna say who's going to the final. I'm gonna predict it all the way to the semi-final. We're gonna do another video talking about from semi-final to the final. But before we do that, guys, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications, follow me on Twitter, Absno. You can see right there in the corner. There, you can see my picture. Follow me there, guys. I'm always active. Let's go. Let's start. PSV against Arsenal. PSV against Arsenal is a decent matchup, I would say, to be honest, because I think PSV has been a surprise this tournament as well. Um, yeah, but I do think Arsenal. I think it will be a comfortable win for Arsenal. I'll be honest to you guys. Arsenal, I think they've got the midfield. They've got one of the best defenses in the world. Their attack might not be as much, but I think they'll go through comfortably. Arsenal beaten PSG as well. Atlanta they drew. They lost against Inter, but overall I think they're just a well coached team, better coach, better players, squad as well. Other than that, I don't think there's much to say really about PSV. I'll be honest to you guys. They have been a surprise, but they've struggled to get there. But yeah, moving on to Real Madrid against Atleti. That is a blockbuster. That is two sides going head to head. The Madrid derby in the Champions League. We all know how it turns out, to be honest, because Atleti always gets spanked in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Atleti always they just get slapped to the ass. But this time is different because Ancelotti against Simeone, he's been struggling, man. He's been struggling a lot. They drew 1-1 again this season in the La Liga. But there's a big difference between Champions League and La Liga because Real Madrid in the Champions League they turn into a different beast. They turn to something like nobody really expects because at the beginning people write them off, fans write them off, managers, players, they write them off. I know in their minds because they started off slow. They had to beat City to get to the round of 16, and now they're here facing Atleti. Diego Simeone, you can tell a haram ball is going to come. Dark cards. Playing against Atleti in the two legs is going to be mentally draining because they just suck the life out of a game, and then they just win a penalty. They score. You never know. But Real Madrid peaking at this time is great for them because they survived the beginning. Now they've peaked. Now Mbappe, Vini, Rodrigo are finally connecting alongside Jude Bellingham. And how will Atleti respond? How would they respond? They've got leaders. They've got Griezmann. They've got Lino. They got De Paul. How will they? How will Real Madrid counter and beat Atleti? That's the biggest question. For me, I think Atleti might scrap it. I think there's going to be a shock. There's going to be an upset. I have Atleti winning both legs because I feel like mentally they they will drain Real Madrid. They'll get into their heads. As you can see, Vinny loses his mind. Jude Bellingham loses his mind. Um, Mbappe maybe. Rudiger sometimes you can get into his head. And also knowing that Jude Bellingham is missing the first leg is a crucial part of the matchup, because Jude Bellingham is important for them. And not having Jude Bellingham against Atleti, that's a slight advantage to Atleti. They can take over that. They can take over that advantage, and it's not going to be a goal fest in my opinion. No, it's not. Somebody is going to get a scrappy goal, make it maybe 1-1, 2-1, maybe 3-2, 4-3. Not even 4-3 really. 2-1, maybe 2-2, extra time, penalties. I can even see this going to penalties. I'll be honest to you guys, but I have Athletic going forward. Um, the next one is that this one. You see, this one I'm not 100% sure of because Paris Saint-Germain, they're not quite convincing, especially against the big team. They lost against Atleti, they lost against Bayern Munich as well. And there was one more team, Arsenal as well. They lost to. They haven't been quite convincing. But then again, they had a slow start to the season. And now that we're in the second phase of the season, Paris Saint-Germain have turned it around. They slapped up Brest 10-0 on aggregate, but it's Brest. They've beaten Brest 4 times already in this season in the league. I think Coupe de France, and now across 2 legs, they've beaten well, 5 in total, but if you want to count 2 legs as one, they've beaten them, slapped them about, but they peaked late as well, just like Real Madrid. Similar like Real Madrid, they've peaked late, and it's at the right time because Dembele peaked. His peak right now, 27 years old. We got Barcola, you got Kvaratskhelia turning up. Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Doué as well. And then you've got Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, Juan Neves, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes. I feel like a young core like this is starting to bloom right now because for the past few years, couple years, they just had focus on the superstars. Just get superstar players in, try win the league, try win the Champions League, and it hasn't been working out for them when they had Neymar, when they had Messi. But now, when you've got a solid foundation, a French foundation, really, as well, when you look at the attack mainly, Barcola, Dembele, we got Zaire Emery coming back as well from injury. He's back. He's going to be a problem against Liverpool as well. But then I look at Liverpool, who has been arguably the best team in the world. Smacking Real Madrid. Just they lost against, I think, PSV. I believe, but they played their youngsters, finishing first. And Liverpool fans are looking at this like, what's the point then of finishing first? We've got a much harder draw. The brackets that I'm looking at right now, the brackets that Liverpool are in now, is really difficult. If they beat Paris Saint-Germain, they have to face Aston Villa, which I think will go through. We'll talk about that next. And then they have to either face Atleti, Real Madrid, or Arsenal in the quarterfinals. No, sorry, in the semi-finals. And then to get to the final, you'd either get it could be between Barca, Bayern Munich, Leverkusen, Inter. It's not an easy run. But knowing how heavily reliant they are on Salah, it's going to be difficult for them. Because Paris Saint-Germain don't have a bum on the left-hand side. They've got Nuno Mendes, who's a top left back. And I feel like the second half of the season, yes, Salah hasn't been the best for the first phase of the season, up to December. He's getting his numbers even though he's playing bad. But that's the problem now. If Nuno Mendes locks Salah, who are they going to turn to? They've got Trent agreed, but he'll get cooked by Quara or Barcola on the left-hand side because for the fullbacks of Liverpool, it's a liability. This game is going to be straight up on the sides, wing play, because you've got Barcola, you've got Dembele, you've got Kvaratskhelia, and then you've got Hakimi on the right, and you've got Nuno Mendes on the left, who love to go forward, bomb forward. And if they attack the fullbacks of Liverpool, it's going to be a long night. But playing through the middle for Liverpool will be really important, really, because they've got like Marquinhos. Come on, guys, like let's. And they got a player called Duque. I think I forgot his name. Let me bring it up real quick. Sorry, lads. PSG. I forgot his name. Yeah, they've got Pacho. Sorry. Yeah, that's really it, to be honest. And it seems like through the defense, maybe in set pieces, Liverpool can take advantage. Obviously, they've got Salah as well running the right. But if you keep him calm, keep him slow, who else do they really have? They got Gravenberg, but will he turn up? Especially a good midfield of PSG. To be honest, it's 50-50 for me. I'll be honest to you guys. It's going to be a goal fest. Both teams are going to score a lot of goals. But I think Liverpool might edge it. But I'm still not 100%. Oh, it's more 55-45 for me. But I'll give it to Liverpool because of the form that they're in. And Paris Saint-Germain are in good form as well. Let's not lie to ourselves. But I just feel like that the defense and the centre back especially, and the physicality of Liverpool, especially in the midfield, I think they'll have an advantage. And especially how we saw Paris struggle against Arsenal as well. They lost against Atleti, they've lost against Bayern Munich, physical midfielders. But let's see how that goes. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Moving on to Club Brugge. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't watched much of Club Brugge, but I saw them being Juventus. Juventus disappointment really. Thiago Motta, he should have stayed at Bologna for another season and then moved on to Juve, because Bologna, they had a good squad. I'll be honest with you guys. They had something, even though they lost Calafiori and Xerxes, they could have replaced them, but they didn't. But hey, what can you do? It is what it is, man. Yeah, moving on to the next. Oh, sorry, Aston Villa will go through definitely. Sorry, guys, I was just trying to fix something. Aston Villa will definitely move forward. I think they've built a Champions League squad. Aston Villa built a squad, a Champions League. They got Daniel Marlin, they got Asensio, they brought in a Rashford. Even though Duran went, but they still got Ollie Watkins. They've built a Champions League squad, and knowing Unai Emery, who is a European knockout artist, who's a master at that. And we've seen it at Sevilla. He's won three, I believe, three Europa Leagues. He's won with Villarreal. He took Villarreal to the semi-final of the Champions League, getting knocked out by Bayern. You can't write off Aston Villa, and I believe Aston Villa will go through. Aston Villa will definitely make it. But looking at obviously Arsenal will make it to the quarterfinals, and then we have Atleti, and I believe Atleti against Arsenal. I think Atleti will go forward. I think Atleti will beat them across two legs. I just feel like they've got much more firepower. They got Alvarez who's on fire. They got Griezmann having a good season. Even as a unit, they're good defensively in the midfield. I think Harambo against Harambo, Atleti will make it. And then we've got Liverpool against Aston Villa across two legs. I won't lie to you guys. Across two legs, I feel like Aston Villa might nick it because they built a Champions League squad. We saw them in the Premier League. They drew 2-2. But I feel like Aston Villa might make it to the semi-final, you know. I honestly believe that. They might nick it over Liverpool, especially knowing how Arne Slot is, his inexperience when you're comparing it to Unai Emery, a world-class manager, a proper tactician. I think Aston Villa against Atleti in the semi-final, there will be an upset. I feel like this is the upset. I feel like Atleti will break the Real Madrid curse. That's why I genuinely believe they will finally break the Real Madrid curse, where they always get slapped about belt to ass. And I feel like this is Simeone's time, and I think Atleti will make it to the semi-final facing Aston Villa. Moving on to Benfica against Barcelona. This is where it gets juicy, because looking at this side, Barcelona are the luckiest of them all, because they faced Benfica already, they faced Dortmund, they faced Bayern Munich as well, so they know how they all play. Against Benfica, I feel like we gave Benfica a chance to get into the game due to individual mistakes. Other than that, we could have easily beat them. But Barcelona against Benfica, I've got Barcelona winning across two legs. We need to finish them off in the first leg, making finish it off 4-5-0, and then slowly the second leg, calm down, win it. Moving on to then we move to quarterfinals. We can either face Dortmund or Lille. Dortmund, they're not doing so great right now in the league, but they're a different beast actually. Dortmund in the Champions League, they were Champions League finalists. And Dortmund, you can't write them off. And Lille as well. Lille actually beat Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid as well. So you can't write them off either. So I think that's going to be a good game. And who do I have going through? I'll be honest, I think Lille will go through. Lille, especially with the experience and how they've played in the Champions League. I think they drew with Juve as well. Dortmund, I'm not so convinced, really. They keep changing managers as well. I just feel like it's going to be the end of Dortmund. A shout out to Guirassy as well. Guirassy with the most Champions League goals, even though I disagree with putting the playoffs in the top scorers list, as in scoring in the top playoffs. But Lille, I think I fancy them going through. And then Barcelona against Lille would be lovely. Bayern Munich against Leverkusen. Bayern Munich have been disappointing for me against the big sides. They've lost against Villa. They've lost against Barcelona. They haven't beaten, since Xabi Alonso came to the job, they haven't even beaten Leverkusen yet. Disappointing. And I feel like Leverkusen, with the manager that they have, Xabi Alonso, who's a top manager, I think Kompany is overrated. Not even overrated, I just think he's not a good manager, really, Kompany. The players that he possesses, Kane, Musiala, all these players, Sane, Coleman, Kimmich, you've got all these players in your hands, but you're not able to utilize them properly. Leverkusen played for a draw against Bayern Munich, and they got what they wanted. But it seems like Kompany, he's inexperienced. I'll be honest, this job is too big for him, and I don't think he can make it past Leverkusen. I think that's the end of Bayern Munich, even though it's a disappointment, and we'd love to see Bayern Munich in the quarters and the semis, challenging for the Champions League. But when you have a manager like Company, I don't see it happening. I'll be honest with you guys. I just don't see it happen. I think Leverkusen is going to get the best of them. Wirtz against Musiala is going to be a beautiful, beautiful battle. Who's going to come on top? I think Wirtz is going to come on top. Not saying that Musiala is going to have a bad game, but I think Wirtz will show the world levels and then go through to the quarterfinals where it's Inter against Feyenoord. P- uh, Van Nistelrooy is taking over Feyenoord. I think Inter is going to smash them in both legs. Inter conceding one goal in the Champions League is still amazing, but I think Feyenoord don't have a chance. No disrespect to Feyenoord, but I think Inter, they're a well-coached team. You got Simeone, Inzaghi, who is a world-class manager, taking Inter to the Champions League final, winning the Serie A as well. I just think it's a mismatch, really, and I think Inter is going to win comfortably, facing Leverkusen in the quarterfinals. Guys, I don't want to face Inter Milan, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm scared of them because of their defensive work and because of their experience. So I'm rooting for Leverkusen. The person inside me wants Leverkusen to win, but then I look at Inter Milan, the defensive shape, the back line, the attacks. I think Inter will beat Leverkusen. I'll be honest with you guys. I think because of the experience, I think they'll beat Leverkusen. I don't think Leverkusen have enough firepower in the squad to be a experienced, well-drilled Inter. And it's going to be a Barcelona against Inter semi-final, guys. Barcelona, for me, Barcelona is going to make it to the final. They're going to make it to the Champions League final. Everybody wants a El Clasico final, but I don't think that will happen. I think Atletico Madrid or Aston Villa, between the two, they're going to face each other in the semi-final, and I think I can't say who's gonna go to the final. Can't say. I'll be honest with you guys. Actually, let me just say it. F it, man. Let me just say who's going to the final. It's going to be Barcelona against Aston Villa in the Champions League final. Seriously, nobody's gonna say Aston Villa, but personally, I think Emery's gonna write off his Premier League season. He's gonna focus fully on the Champions League, and I think it's going to be Barcelona against Aston Villa in the final, and Barcelona will finally win the Champions League. That's what I genuinely believe, guys. I think Hansi Flick is going to take Barcelona to the Champions League final, and he's going to win it. That is what I believe. I truly believe Barcelona will win the. That's what I believe. After this draw that I've seen, the luck that we have. Look at my Twitter, guys. Yeah. Look at my Twitter, guys. This is what I. This is what I. Oh shit. Sorry. This is what I said. Yeah. This is what I predicted. Where is it? Can you see it? I predicted Barca against Benfica, happened. Liverpool against PSG, happened. Dortmund against Villa, and Brugge versus Lille. This is the part where I said, let me change Villa. Let me change Villa with Lille. But I felt like, nah, not all the big teams are going to face each other. And it happened, man. And then we had Real versus Atleti, Bayern versus Leverkusen, Arsenal against PSV, final versus Inter. Perfect! I was so close, guys. I was so close, but it did not happen. But there you go, guys. As you can see, is going to be a lovely European knockout, and I'm going to be there, and I book the tickets. Barcelona fans, book the tickets to Munich, because we're going there. Anyway, guys, thanks you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next.